Good evening, and we're going to begin with the Citizens Forum tonight. It's October 27th, 2022. We do have one person signed up to speak. Whenever you approach the podium, please state your name and address. First, we have Carol V. Haas.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. I'm Carol Haas, 455 Cedar Park Circle, Laverne, Tennessee. And I would just like to remind the citizens of Laverne to come out to early voting. Tomorrow is 10 to 6. Saturday is 8 to noon. And then next week, Monday through Thursday, will be 10 to 6. All early voting is at the multi-purpose building behind City Hall on Murfreesboro Road. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and close out the Citizens Forum and go straight into our workshop. The prayer will be on Tuesday evening, will be with Alderman Waldron. Pledge of Allegiance will be with Vice Mayor No. Should all have a copy of the minutes from the October 6th, 2022 regular meeting. Moving on to presentations. First, we're going to have Springs and Power Academy. Jared McLeod, sir, if you'd like to come up to the podium, the floor will be yours.
Thank you very much. If I may present?
Eubanks, if you could. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you very much, Mayor Cole, for having me this evening. Ms. Williams, thank you so much for helping me organize all of this. And just, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'm going to tell you just a brief presentation about our school and what we've been working on here in Rutherford County for the past year. Seeing if this clicker will work, and if not, it's all right. Work together on this one. Maybe not. Maybe that's it. So just real quickly, Springs is a charter school, and so for those of us that we haven't had a lot of charter schools here in Rutherford County. There's actually only 2 schools that are currently approved to be a charter school here in Rutherford. A charter school is an independently functioning school, but it's a public school. So parents don't pay to send their children to school. It's not a private school, so it's open to all children, all abilities, disabilities, any type of student can apply to come to our school and any charter school. A little bit about charter schools is that there's 44 states in the United States that do offer some sort of charter school opportunity for their families. And currently 7.2% of all students in the country attend a charter school. In Rutherford County, with no operating charter schools, we don't have any right now. And so what we're hoping to offer is just a choice for families to make of their own choosing of whether this is a choice for their family. And so for us, what we're hoping to bring is just school and parent choice to the community. What we will be offering, I'm gonna get to that in just one second, is a special type of school. And it's going to be for kindergarten through 8th grade students. And we've been operating charter schools for the past 23 years, and we serve about 11,000 students right now in California. And so my background is a principal, I'm a teacher, that's who I am. And so for me, I'm just very passionate about providing parents in our community an opportunity to make a choice for their children. And so for right now, what we'll be offering is, try to get the clicker to work, a personalized learning school. And so for personalized learning, what we do is we walk the walk of saying that every child is different and unique. And I think as parents, we all know that about our kids. And I've got 2 very different boys that are very close in age, but they're very different. And their needs are different, and the way they learn is different, and the way that they see the world is vastly different. One of my children requires special needs, and the other one is very gifted and is accelerating. So the way that I support him, both my children, is very different. And so for our school, what we do is we evaluate children on a child-by-child basis. If they're at the 3rd grade by birth date, but they're reading at a kindergarten or 1st grade level, we really want to celebrate that child's success as moving up maybe from kindergarten level to 2nd grade level. They might not be with their peers that 1st year, but we're going to make individual gains and celebrate the child as an individual. And that's what we're really hoping to offer to the children here in Rutherford County. Thank you very much. Well, teamwork does. So we really want to get to know our children. We really want to make sure assignments are allowed to be chosen for their own likingness. So if they're doing a history project, we want them to interpret that project and show us as staff and as teachers how they learn best. And so that's going to look different for all 20-some kids in the classroom. We're really going to make sure our students' voice is heard. When we have parent conferences, we really involve the students. So it's a student-led conference where students are advocating. They're speaking for themselves, and we're helping to set goals for the child as an individual. So what we're really trying to do is prepare them for real life. We're preparing them to speak for themselves and advocate for what they need or what they want. And so for us, we're really excited to be offering this to the kids. And so right now, we've been approved by the Rutherford County Board of Education. We are the only locally approved charter school in Rutherford County to date. There is another one that has been approved by the State Commission, but we're the only one here locally approved. What we're doing right now is we're trying to find a school facility to open up next August. And talking to Mayor Cole, we've committed to the northwest region of Rutherford County, and this city is just perfect for that opportunity for us to really set ourselves for 10 years. It's a 10-year charter school. So what we're looking to is just kind of make ourselves be present and being a part of the community and just presenting ourselves that we're looking for commercial space, we're looking for land, we're looking for anything we can to really create a home here and provide that school environment for the children here in Laverne. We've sat through school board meetings time after time again, and the district is having a hard time building as faster than the areas are growing. And so for charter schools like ourselves, we don't have to have a full school on 20 acres. We can create a classroom in a strip mall. We can create a classroom in a church's backyard. We can do a lot of creative things as a charter school, and just finding a comfortable home that's great for children is what I hope we're all looking for. So that really concludes my presentation here tonight. Again, I just didn't want to take up a lot of your time, but I wanted to make sure that I was here and can answer any questions you might have. And again, Mayor Cole, thank you so much for this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sure, go ahead.
Excuse me. Yes, sir. I've read about this and seen some of the, or heard some of the pros and cons about charter schools. And of
Yes,
course,
sir.
I don't have small children, but I'm curious, where do you get your teachers from?
So our teachers are regularly public school employees that we'll be hiring ourselves. They'll work for us instead of working for the school district. We are bringing, this is another change. We are bringing a different salary schedule. We're going to start our teachers around $50,000 a year, which is quite significant as compared to other school districts around. So what we're talking about is really helping drive commerce and employment opportunities here too by having a higher salary schedule for our teachers. So they are credentialed, just like teachers are credentialed in the county. We'll be looking to hire credentialed teachers.
And how do you choose which children go to your school?
It's an open enrollment, so whoever signs up, as long as there's space, they're entitled to go to that school. We don't look at past history, we don't look at their grades, we don't look at their, if they have an IEP for a disability, we don't look at it. It's a blind enrollment opportunity. Once a classroom fills up though, we do have things called lotteries where we have to just pull names out of a drum and whoever is lucky enough to get chosen gets chosen. We're hoping that's not the case. We are approved to have over 800 students, at full capacity for kindergarten through 8th grade.
So it's basically first come, first served.
Yes, open enrollment for Rutherford County starts around December 15th. We're hoping to be in alignment with that and start our open enrollment at the same time. If we do exceed the amount of students enrolled, then we'll do a lottery at that time.
And all the kids, I'm assuming, have to furnish their own transportation?
At this time, yes. We are looking though, if it's a desire of the community to have busing, we will look at that in our budget and try to make that work as well. We're really community-based. We really have to listen to what our constituents or our families do want. We are a school of choice. If we're not doing what's best for the kids, then the parents don't send their kids to us and then we don't operate. It's like a great business model. We really want to make sure we're doing what's best for the kids so that we have the problem of having too many kids. Right now, we're just getting started though.
The reason I wanted to ask is because I've read some of that stuff on the school board meetings and personal stuff on
Yes, sir.
social media, and it seems like there's some thoughts as far as pros and cons about charter schools and stuff, and at least now I can have a little bit of a conversation with somebody in case
Sure.
something's asked. So
Yeah, it's a new topic.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for the questions.
So the question, you're looking to lease or you're also looking to build? And if you are, for the 150 students, how many square feet building are you looking at?
Sure. So with the funding that we've secured, we're looking to purchase. We might have to do something for an interim 1-year plan of a small lease because if to build, it might take more than getting ready for August as school starts. So we might have 2 things in the works right now. When we do purchase, either we're purchasing land or we're purchasing commercial, it'll be about 50 to 80,000 square feet is what we're looking for to hold 800 students. Just to get started, we could take something around 10,000.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Moving on, we have departmental reports, and then old business will be second reading ordinance 2022-23, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 general fund budget. This is second reading. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, we're going to go over to our consent agenda. We have approve or reject city bids and purchases. Number 1 is a GSA contract purchase, emergency equipment for 4 undercover vehicles. And this is just like it sounds. The cost of the equipment is $10,239.50. Is there any questions? This is emergency equipment for 4 undercover vehicles. And then moving on to number 2, sole source purchase. This is personal protective equipment for the fire department. Again, this is clothing, including coats, pants, boots, fire hoods, helmets. Does anyone have any questions? Number 3, Sourcewell contract purchase forklift for Public Works. This is a forklift, just like it says, for the Water and Sewer Department. Cost is $45,690.99. This is a budget item, and will be paid for out of the Water and Sewer Department budget. Does anyone have any questions? Next item, we've got approve quote and statement of work for Motorola GIS Managed Service Plus System. This will approve the purchase of GIS services from Motorola to help keep the data up to date on the police CAD system. Does anyone have any questions? Next, we have approve league facility use agreement with Universal Sports League / Laverne Baseball Softball Association. This is an annual contract with Universal Sports League to operate the youth baseball and softball leagues. Does anyone have any questions? Next, we have ratify the approval of change order number 1 for Industrial Boulevard Sewer Expansion Project. This is just as it sounds, to ratify change order number 1. It'll increase the amount of the project to by $16,233. Does anyone have any questions? Next, E, ratify the approval of the First Amendment and Second Amendment to the purchase and sale agreement with Trindad Benham Corporation for the purchase of Public Works facility located at 148 International Boulevard. And this will ratify the 2 amendments to the purchase and sale agreement that was approved by the board in September. And you can see this. It's just basically the buyer has been working towards closing of the property. They're doing their due diligence, but they've had some items that took a little bit longer to get completed. So the due diligence period was supposed to end at the end of September. They requested the First Amendment to extend that to October 14th. Due to the timing request, of course, that First Amendment did not work with the Board of Mayor and Aldermen agenda. So I went ahead and approved that, and pending this ratification. The expiration, though, was not long enough, so the second amendment extends that due diligence through January 13th. Does anyone have any questions? Next up, approved letter of intent from PG Stones River Partners for the purchase of 169 Stones River Road. This is an item to approve an LOI from PG Stones River Partners to purchase Fire Station 41 that's located at 169 Stones River Road. In April, the board approved a resolution which allowed me to enter into a contract for sale and lease of the fire station property, and the valuation for the appraisal came back at $300,000. The a formal letter of intent was submitted by the group. It was reviewed by the city attorney, who made some suggested changes to the to this LOI, and it was submitted after changes were made. But the purchase price is $300,000, which matches the appraisal. There's a leaseback provision after 1 year that in case we've not moved off that property into the new fire station. So hopefully that will not be the case. Right, Chief Beasley? He'll be out there laying bricks later. The lease agreement will be drawn up and approved as part of the final sale and closing. If approved, the next step for this would be a sales contract to be written and agreed upon by both parties. The sales agreement would come back for future approval, but overall the offer is $300,000, which the city can use towards Fire Station 41 or any other projects. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'd like number F to be pulled off a standard agenda and put on a one-item deal.
That's fine. We can move that into new business. Any discussion about it?
Yes, just a quick question. So realistically, with the new fire station, what is their timeline for completion?
The last conversation we had was 14 to 16 months. Last conversation we had was 14 to 16 months, once the letter to proceed.
So my question to the board is, what happens if something happens during the construction that something happens or we don't get it finished in time for the sale of this and our lease, 1 year lease expires? What happens then?
Mayor, if I may, the leaseback provisions don't start until after the 1 year. So we have 1 year automatically, and then the lease provisions would kick in where we would pay them a certain amount per month for a lease. So that time frame has not been determined at this time. So we would have more than, 14 to 16 months, whatever that time frame may be. We just don't know right now what that dollar amount would be to lease it back.
Okay, so basically 24 months is really what we're looking at.
It could be, it just depends. It'll probably be a month to month after the initial year, would be my guess.
Get moving that fire station.
I'll be out there doing construction myself,
Of course,
whatever it takes.
the 1 year won't start until closing.
Sure,
So,
sure.
it's gonna be probably another couple of months before that even starts.
Understand, thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Seeing none, moving on to G. Approve the renewal of the employee benefits package for 2023. This is to renew the employee benefits package, so this is medical, dental, vision, disability, flexible spending, COBRA, all of the normal stuff that we do each year. Does anyone have any questions? Moving on to H, approve a rental agreement with LifePoint Church to use their facilities for the city's annual employee Christmas party. Andrew, would you like to come up and speak to this one? This is a little different than we've normally done, so I'll let you kind of lead this off.
Sure, absolutely. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, good evening. We've had some conversations this year about how to enhance some of our employee experiences and things that we can do a little bit different. And so this year, we have been working diligently to plan a really exciting evening. Typically, we do a Thanksgiving staff lunch. and a Christmas staff lunch. Our Thanksgiving staff lunch is already planned and happening, will be fantastic. So this year, we decided we would propose doing an evening Christmas event, so employee plus one, giving the opportunity to bring a family member with you. And we spent a lot of time looking at venues that would be appropriate, and ended up finding some great partnership with our friends at LifePoint Church in Smyrna, and we've done other city events there in the past as well. So this is proposed to be a Thursday night, December the 16th, a night that would be full of fun, food, some festivities. We've received some really generous and amazing donations from some businesses in the area and some friends for gifts for our employees. So this is simply a use of their facility, and the cost is only $420, which is just to cover the cost of cleaning the room when we're done.
Does anyone have any questions?
I like number H to be pulled off a consent agenda.
Okay. Any discussion about it? Any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Then moving on to new business. First reading, ordinance 2022-24, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 Fire Impact Fund budget. And so this is an ordinance to use the impact fees from the fire department to purchase 9 sets of turnout gear for the fire department. Is there any questions? Seeing none, moving on to first reading ordinance 2022-25. This is to amend the fiscal year 2022-2023 general fund budget. And this is for the funding of the construction of Fire Station 41. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none. Resolution 2022-25, a resolution to amend the employee handbook. And this is in conjunction with our insurance partners, public entity partners. It's develop an internal accident review board. This board will be comprised of employees who would follow standard procedures and outcomes for monthly reviews of vehicle accidents with city property. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Seeing none, motion to approve a tender and completion agreement with United States Fire Insurance Company for the completion of the 24-inch water main project from Stones River Road roundabout to the water treatment plant. And Evan, I'm going to ask you to take this one.
Yes, sir. Mayor, members of the board, this is obviously everybody's familiar with the 24-inch water line project. And as you'll recall, the original contractor that the city had hired, Charles DeWeese, filed bankruptcy. That triggered a lot of other issues that came from that. And you voted at your last meeting or the meeting before to terminate the agreement with Charles DeWeese. Since that time, we notified DeWeese the contract had been terminated, and we notified the bonding company that had the bond on that project. The bonding company is prepared to fulfill its duty to the city and pay the money out on the bond. They have the right and the ability to do that by hiring a contractor to complete the project. So what we are going to be presented with is a tri-party agreement between the city, the insurance company that issued the bond, and whoever the new contractor is going to be. The bonding company gets to select that contractor, okay? So we do not have a final agreement yet. They submitted a proposal over this week. Our consulting engineer is reviewing it. Kyle's reviewing it. I'm reviewing it. It's on the agenda tonight because it's possible that we may not have a final agreement until after this board meeting. And so for the sake of time, and everyone's interested in doing this quickly to get the project moving again, would be asking for you to consider authorizing the mayor to execute that agreement if and when we get a final agreement put together. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
So the bonding company gets to choose who's going to finish it,
Correct. Yes, sir.
and will they, that's a final deal? Once they say this is who's gonna do it, that's who's gonna do it?
Right. And you know, we've not gotten into that level of detail in terms of how much input the city might be able to have on that, but ultimately, when push comes to shove, they have the right to make that choice. One other thing that I'll mention is that whomever the new contractor is, has to complete the project pursuant to the original contract. So the agreement that we had with DeWeese, those terms and conditions and those items, they have to comply with those original terms of that contract. So part of the work in all this is finding a contractor that's willing to come in with that set of, whatever the constraints are in the contract, that they're willing to complete the contract on that basis. But the good news is that we do have an insurance company that is stepping up, and they're not challenging it, they're offering to complete the project.
Do we have any kind of timeline?
Mr. Vice Mayor, no. I know that the insurance company is anxious to get going. I know the city is, but I think, to me, in my mind, as a layperson, when it comes to contracting, I think that finding somebody to fill the role is probably going to be the hardest work. How long that takes, I don't know.
Mr. Coe, just another question. So with the work that's previously been done by the DeWeese, is there any warranty how would that cover the warranty or any work that was previously done? How's that going to be covered, if at all?
That's a great question. I don't think that it's going to be. I don't think there's any way. We obviously can't go back on the original contractor because of the bankruptcy. The new contractor will be bonded. They'll have to have a bond also. But in terms of whether or not there are issues predating that increase the cost, I don't know that there's any recourse we have, at that point. I don't know how much of an issue that is, but if there is one, I don't know that we have any option on that.
So in the long scheme of things, we're not adding any money to what's there.
I don't know if I can answer that. It may cost more. I don't know if Kyle could comment on that.
The draft we currently have that they gave us is they will hold the unit prices, like Evan stated earlier, per the original contract. So the surety company is going to be liable for paying the difference between what the original contract price is and what they work out with a new contractor. So in essence, yes, it should be the same price, but if there's any change orders or anything like that, then of course it'll be new pricing, which with the length of project they have left, I'm sure there's probably going to be one or two change orders left. But for the bulk of it, yes, what we had budgeted and what we allotted is what we will spend.
Any other questions?
I have quite a bit of questions, but I just don't feel like getting into it tonight. I'm gonna save my questions for Tuesday night.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to our board and committee. We've got the Beautification and Arts Advisory Committee. We've got one position open, which was Marshall Smith's, as he resigned, and we are advertising that currently on Channel 3 and social media and do not have any applications at this time. Then we have the Library Board. Christian Rodriguez has resigned. She's had a work schedule change, so we are also advertising that one as well for anyone who may be interested. With that said, we will go to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Waldron.
Like I say, I've been in the medical facility all day and found out that I had a pneumonia. And just being here tonight is an ordeal. I'm gonna save everything I got, hopefully for Tuesday night, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Alderman Coates.
No comments this evening.
Vice Mayor, no.
Just want to say, David and his crew and the Goodies and Goblins, man, you all killed it. And the next thing is, if you come by the senior center tomorrow between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. and you see a bunch of old people out there with red Solo cups and music blaring, just mind your own business.
It's the Halloween party.
Halloween party, yes.
Should
But
be.
we'll be outside, so, police department, if you get any phone calls from the neighbors about noise or anything, just give us a break.
Well, Alderman Waldron, I hope you do get to feeling better. do want to remind everyone, early voting is going on at the multipurpose building, and you can vote anywhere in Rutherford County. That continues on through November 3rd. I believe Monday through Friday is 10 to 6. This Saturday is the last opportunity to vote, which is going to be 8 to noon. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great week. Call this meeting adjourned.